So, in the midst of smashing our economy and costing us 5,350 businesses, causing an additional 20,000 job losses, Maura Healey, the failed governor of Massachusetts, who I'd like to call, and as we all know who she is, the utter incompetent failure and the worst governor in the history of this state, because everything has gotten worse under her. Every possible thing is worse off. Also, the fact that we have near zero economic growth. Our tax climate is 41st out of 50 states, and our growth as a state, according to the UHaul Index, ranks 49th out of 50 states. But now, in the midst of all that failure, Maura the failure, or as I like to call her, Tax and Spend Maur, now has a challenger. But can that challenger unseat her? Remains to be seen. So, talking about the failures of the moron Kim dumbass regime for quite some time here in the Bay State. I've been discussing this for quite some time, but now she has a challenger. Someone that I actually do think could potentially actually be able to get rid of her. And we can finally put an end to this failure and say enough is enough. But can this person actually do it? That still remains to be seen. Because it is, to be fair, it is technically kind of hard to actually, especially to unseat an incumbent in any state, even though the incumbent is fucking incompetent, which is what we got here. It's not impossible, folks. It's totally not impossible, but there are some cracks that are emerging. You know why? Because people are waking up and understanding just how ridiculous this is. Credit Mike Kenley for this much. He got the Bay State's political and chartering classes talking about a campaign that isn't the Boston battle roulette between Mayor Michelle Wu and Josh Kraft. Oh yeah, fucking Michelle Wu, who doesn't have a fucking clue, is even worse. And he says that he's going to challenge her. And he ticked off and talked about the terrible transit system, the unspeakable violence in the state's emergency shelter system that is a human tragedy and a national embarrassment. Oh yes, it most absolutely is, and it's absolutely disgusting, and it's an embarrassment that this fucking state and our pathetic, incompetent, one-party Democrat rule would even allow that to occur in the first place. This political class of Beacon Hill is more concerned with their future than with ours. Oh yeah, that's absolutely true. And he's saying that how they deserve better. And then the question is Healey vulnerable as she seeks a second 4-year term in the top spot? Everyone's saying, sure, probably, yeah, maybe, I don't know, something. Hard to unseat a politician, as I discussed earlier. Anytime you have a one-party rule in the state, it sets you up to be vulnerable because you are only catering to one part of the population. Oh yeah, that's another thing that is totally true. And don't get this twisted, her approval is way lower than this. But even like I've said before, even the polls that show Maura actually positive, even they're admitting that cracks are emerging, and are saying about how her approval rating is plummeting compared to other places. Healey has a net approval rating, but only barely, and her approval has slipped considerably, and it has slipped noticeably from previous polls. Her poll numbers have fallen fastest among those with lower incomes and less education. This poll provides a clue to the reason for her declining popularity. It's likely Massachusetts residents, and particularly less affluent residents, like myself, are judging Healey significantly, in significant part, based on economic conditions. Well, yeah, we are judging her for the economic conditions. You know why? Because the economic conditions have only gotten worse since she's been in office. Because she's made Massachusetts a worse Massachusetts in every way, shape, and form. Every single thing about this state that used to be positive has gotten worse in every way, shape, or form. Whether it was our tax climate that was in the middle of the pack, our tax rates in general were in the middle of the pack. Just everything. Our economic growth was one of the best, and now it's been degraded because of Maura Healey's terrible policies and driving jobs and businesses and high earners out of the state, which is what she's done with that 4% surtax. and what she's done with all sorts of regressive tax and fees. Almost every single one of her local taxes, like the meals and like the meals tax, the motor vehicle tax, all that stuff is higher taxes and regressive taxes that hurt people at the lower end of the income scale the most. And that's the reason why people are absolutely fed up, because they are absolutely fed up. And what we want is, well, what do we want? What exactly do we want here? Well, what do I want? I want someone who isn't going to bankrupt us and make us a worse off place than we already are. Because already, like, we've gone so far backwards in this state since she's taken office, it's not even funny. Every single bit of it, every single statistical measure, as I've stated on this channel again and again and again. But now, finally, someone can challenge her, but that remains to be seen. Is this person a moderate? Is this person going to be someone who is so to the side of MAGA that they're going to end up just repelling people and everything else? No, what you need is, you need someone who is like right of center, someone who is going to take her on all of the issues, and is going to put his foot down and really get her on the issues and say how much she's failed, how much she's destroyed opportunities and jobs and everything in this state. Talk about how negatively she's affected our economic growth, our job climate, our economic competitiveness, and everything. Just talk about all that. You really should hit her on what really should happen is talk about how all our other states in the region, including New Hampshire and Maine, and look at how much better that they're doing compared to us right now. Look at all the states around the rest of the country, and making Massachusetts uncompetitive because of these negative tax hikes and all that. So you should be talking about all of those things, and talk about that. You want to talk about that, and then just have this idiot make up a bunch of excuses, because that's what she'll do. She'll try to tout the line about how great she's done, and how she's so great with regards to sticking it to MAGA and whatnot. But it's so ridiculous, because she's no better than Trump is. She's accusing Trump of every single thing that she's doing, because like I've said before, no one loves Trump more than Maura Healey, because, like, oh my God, the biggest fucking failure that the state has ever seen, the worst governor ever in history. I never thought ever in my life that someone would be worse than Deval Patrick, but I guess you got to pour gasoline all over that fucking fire, because that's exactly what's happened. Basically setting our state on fucking fire, because that's what's happening. I never thought anyone would be worse than Deval Patrick. Never ever in my life did I ever think that. I never thought that. No. The negative, all this stuff that is happening, the tragedies in the shelter system, our stunted economic growth, the record high local taxes, the stunting of our economic growth. All these statistics have declined dramatically since she's taken office. The economy is a mess. You can't just make this stuff up. We've lost 20,000 jobs. You can't just sit here and act like, well, the past 2.5 years, 3 years at this point, you can't just sit here and act like that they didn't happen. They most certainly did happen. And everybody here is paying the fucking price for it. We are all paying the price for it. Our neighbors are recovering and are doing well. States around the rest of the country are improving and are having surpluses, with runaway surpluses and whatnot. Where does Massachusetts stand on that? I don't know. Let's see. Only 1.8 economic growth. How does Massachusetts' big economy only grow by 1.8% in the last year? How does that happen? And not only that, there's more spending. Because spending more than the state is growing. That's the problem. The fucking problem is, when you're growing so much, and you're not even growing, you're just spending the taxpayers' money. That's all you're doing. What you're doing is that you just keep spending money on stuff that shouldn't be happening. You're spending it on ridiculous things that shouldn't be happening. You're spending it on a shelter program where we've lost $1 billion in taxpayer money, where there's a federal investigation going on for tragedies and crimes against humanity going on. You talk about that. You talk about economic development where we've lost 5,300 businesses and 20,000 jobs. So how can you sit here and act like, oh yeah, everything is, no, it's disgusting. No, it's absolutely disgusting. And someone needs to, fucking Tax and Spend Maur needs to be in fucking prison. And it's actually this reason why I stopped being a fucking liberal. Because because Democrats are worse on this front because they act like something that they're not. And in every single thing that they touch, they destroy, and that's what's happened here. What's happened here is that you've seen a state that has so much potential and so much good go so far in the wrong direction that it isn't even funny. Just seeing all of this, and it's bad for her when even the polls that are in her favor are showing that they're plummeting compared to other places, compared to other sources. Like other sources are showing that, oh, she's good or whatever, but no, compared to those ones and this one, oh no, her approval rating is going down dramatically. Yeah, you know why? Because Maura Healey needs to find policy positions that are not in the fucking fiction section. People here in Massachusetts are fed up with her lies and her scandal and her tax hikes and wasting our money. We're looking for real balance. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for someone that's going to control the growth and provide lower taxes with better services, because that's what I stand for. We want someone that is going to challenge this one-party Democrat rule that is untransparent on Beacon Hill with no competition, no checks and balances, no rules and regulations. They just do whatever they want with our fucking tax money, no checks and balances. They did none of it. Because that's what we need. We cannot have a system where they're just running around with our money and just doing whatever the hell they want with it. It's pathetic. The whole entire thing is pathetic. And yeah, you bet your ass we're paying the price for it, because she's spending our money like it's going out of style. She's increased spending, and we have a spending budget that's bigger than 37 other states. Only 13 other states raised spending the way that she did. And on top of that, record high local taxes that have taken 10% more out of the budget than it did before she took office. So not only that, it's also the taxes, and Maura Healey admitted to blocking 2 pipelines. She's made energy costs go up dramatically, which is also not good. It's not good for grocery prices, because higher energy costs also result in higher grocery prices. They also result in higher gas prices, higher grocery prices, higher rent, higher prices, and almost every other thing. Higher taxes as well. This is Massachusetts under Maura Healey. This is Taxachusetts under Maura Healey all over again. Her incompetence, her mismanagement has caused all of those things, especially during the winter. Just paying to heat your home. No. Dumbasses like that just think it's a luxury because they've never struggled a day in their life. They've never fucking struggled a day in their life to pay for food, to pay for rent, to pay for heating your apartment like this, like mine, or heating your home or whatever. No, they've never struggled a day in their life because they're a bunch of fucking incompetent clowns and they've never struggled a day in their life. And it's time that we put them in their place and get these fucking people out of office, because it's about time someone is going to start challenging these idiots. About time we start challenging these fucking idiots. And that's what you need to do. Because, yeah, higher energy costs also mean higher prices at the grocery store. It's also higher prices for your job, higher electricity rates to keep the lights on. That's also not good for our jobs and investment here. That's also not good for them, because entrepreneurs are thinking, well, why should we pay all these higher energy costs? And also under Maura Healey, we're the 3rd most expensive state to do business, so 47th out of 50 states. Entrepreneurs will come here and think, well, wait a minute, I could be paying 60% less to the north in New Hampshire. I could be paying maybe a third less in Maine. I'd be paying way more if I opened up shop in Virginia, or if I opened up shop in Delaware, or if I opened up in Florida or Tennessee or Ohio or Indiana or something, or Nevada or someplace like that. I open up there, or someplace like that, or in Texas or in Florida or something. I open up there, and my costs are 50% lower than they are in Maura Healey's Massachusetts, in Tax and Spend Maur's Massachusetts, because that's all she's done. She's taxed us more with worse services, wasting our money, and stunting our economic growth, and deterring and deterring jobs and investment here. So is it not a surprise why the state's only grown by 1.8%? That's near zero economic growth. Then that's the reason. And then the growth of a state is we're dead last in the nation, 49th out of 50 states. How does that happen? Well, elect a clown, expect a circus. That's what's happening. Because you got a fucking clown in there and then expect a circus. The state government here is a freaking circus. That's the problem. The problem is everything. The problem is fucking everywhere. It's not only here on the North Shore or the South Shore. It's in Southern Mass, Northern Mass. It's in Western Mass, Central Mass, the Metro West. Wasting our money and yeah, talking about about the transportation system and everything else. Yeah, well, the transportation system isn't getting better. It's like with Maura Healey's tax hikes. Are our services better? Is the tea better than it was before? She's increased spending by 10%. The budget is 10% higher now compared to where it was before she took office. Is our public services 10% better? No. Are our roads 10% better? No. In some areas, they're worse. Are we getting better public services? Is our healthcare system better? Is our education better? Is any of that better? Is anything better with that? With higher energy costs, to be used for chasing windmills that don't fucking exist. Is anything better? Is our environment better? No, I can tell you right now, nothing is better. Every single thing is worse off. 41st out of 50 states for tax climate? No, that don't sound good. That's down from 34. That's down from like 29 or 30 or 34 or something. So that's down pretty significantly. Is that good? No, that's not good. Energy costs like 12% higher. Is that good? No. No. Maura Healey has made Massachusetts uncompetitive, unaffordable, expensive, and uninvestable. That's what she's made. That's what she's made us into. She's an incompetent fucking clown who has been an incompetent clown her entire life, throughout her entire political career. Every single place she has gone, whether in Massachusetts or beyond, everything she's touched, she has fucking decimated, because that's what she is. She's an incompetent clown, and she will go down as the worst governor in history, and nobody will ever remember her for anything good. The only thing we will remember her for, well, we also remember her as Attorney General when she was also corrupt and conniving and scheming and everything else. We remember her for that, but we also will remember her as the governor who took our state way off track and in the wrong direction. That's the only thing we're going to remember her for. And that's all I'll remember her for. There's not one positive thing that freaking clown has done since she's taken office. Not one thing. There is not one positive thing that has come out of Maura Healey's tenure in office. Every single part of it is a failure. Every statistic is worse off. The cost of living in the state is worse off with her in office. Our energy costs are worse off. Our taxes are worse off. Our competitiveness rate, worse off. Our business climate, worse off. Tax climate, worse. Dramatically worse, for that matter. Our economic growth, worse off. Growth as a state, worse off. Check, 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 check. Check this, check that, check this, check that. Everything's worse off. Everything's worse off. So what does that show you? It shows you that nobody with half a fucking brain in their head at this point thinks that Maura Healey is good. And if you live in the state like I do, and if you think Maura Healey's doing a good job at this point, you need to get your fucking head examined. Okay, fuck you. If you think that Maura Healey is doing a good job in this state, then have your fucking head examined. Or go on some medication. Oh, wait a minute, Maura Healey will try to tax you for that. Oh, wait, she can't, because even the Democrats that she's with doesn't even want to go along with that. Oh, did I also mention that this Mike Kenley guy will also allow the audit to go through? As governor, he will also allow that to go through. So just for that alone, he would have my vote in that regard. So it's all of that, guys, as to why I've shifted. But I believe in public services, and all my other positions are non-negotiable. They all remain the same. What we need is lower taxes, lower costs, lower energy lower energy costs and lower grocery prices and lower price of living in general with lower taxes and better services. That's what we need. We had that before. We all had that before, and we can get into that again. So what we need to do is you got to get the change. The only way you can bring about the change is if you get out there and you vote for that change. I said this from the beginning. I was going to vote for a fucking rock over Maura Healey. It don't matter who is her challenger. I'm voting for them no matter what the case. It'd be a fucking rock I'd be voting for them at this point because it's so ridiculous. Because we need to get this clown out of office, I'm telling you, because enough is a freaking enough. And like I said, if you think Maura Healey is good, then fuck you, get on some medication and go to a doctor and get your fucking head examined. Because there's nothing positive or good or transparent about Maura Healey in any way, shape, or form. Everything is worse off. Every single thing is worse off in every imaginable way. We're looking for balance. That's what we need. We need someone that is going to challenge the monopoly and just bring about some type of checks and balances with this one-party Democrat rule and say enough is enough. And we're looking for balance here in Massachusetts, and that's what we're looking for. 2026, I am definitely voting for whoever is going to take Maura Healey on. They will be getting my vote. And on that note, I just wanted to talk about all of that stuff. But thank you all for watching. I'm going to cut it here because I've got to get ready for work pretty soon. So thank you all for watching. I'll be back at some point soon, including my stream on Monday. So stay tuned for that. Other stuff in the works. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you all learned something. And I'll catch you guys in the next video coming up soon at some point, including my stream on Monday. So look out for that and other stuff. Have yourselves a good one, everybody. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, stay safe, stay well, stay classy, keep fighting, keep on rocking, take care of yourselves and all each other, and I'll see you comrades in the next one. And that's what we here in the Bay State need to do. We're looking for balance, and that's what we're going to look for next year. One can only hope. See you all again next time, everybody. Have yourselves a good day. See you next time. Have a good day. Peace out, and see you next time. So long.